Parker Schnabel has spent his entire life chasing gold, but this time something feels different. He built his reputation as a fearless risk-taker, pulling millions out of the ground before most people his age even knew what they wanted in life. But behind the success, the pressure has been building. And now, it's reaching a breaking point. Just minutes ago, new details surfaced about what's really happening behind the scenes, and it's far more serious than anyone expected. A $25 million gamble, mounting setbacks, and a season that could change everything. So what exactly went wrong? And is Parker Schnabel finally running out of time? Let's delve in, the man behind the mine. Parker Schnabel built his name in one of the toughest industries in the world, but for him, gold mining was never just a job. It was something he was born into. Growing up in a family deeply rooted in mining, Parker didn't just inherit the tradition, he pushed it further, turning it into his own path to success. What surprises many people is how young he still is. Born on July 22, 1994, he hasn't even hit 30, yet he's already become one of the most recognizable faces in modern gold mining. He started out as a teenager working at his family's big nugget mine in Alaska, learning the business from the ground up. With his rugged, no-nonsense approach, Parker quickly proved he wasn't just another reality TV personality, he was the real deal, a high-stakes gamble. Early on, Parker made a decision that changed everything. Instead of going to college, he took the money set aside for his education and bet it all on mining. It was a risky move, but he trusted his instincts. The classroom wasn't where he saw his future. He belonged out in the field, chasing gold. He poured everything into launching his own operation in the Yukon, stepping into a world filled with uncertainty and pressure. As he once admitted, his family wasn't thrilled with the choice, but he couldn't walk away from mining after experiencing it firsthand. That gamble, however, paid off. What started as a bold risk turned into a massive success, transforming him from an ambitious young miner into a self-made millionaire. Private life and personal fortune. Despite his fame, Parker has always kept his personal life private. While millions watch him struggle and succeed on screen, very little is known about his life away from the cameras. He rarely speaks about relationships, choosing instead to stay focused on his work. Financially, though, his success is undeniable. From an early start, he built his fortune through mining, pulling in millions before most people his age had even settled into a career. By his mid-20s, he had already extracted gold worth tens of millions, and today his net worth is estimated to be around $10 million. His work has taken him across the globe, from the Klondike to South America, constantly chasing the next big find, modern gold fever. Gold mining may sound like something from another era, but it's still very much alive, and Parker Schnabel is at the center of it. Through Gold Rush, audiences get a raw look at the realities of modern mining. The series follows crews working in extreme conditions, particularly in the harsh wilderness of the Yukon near Dawson City, where the hunt for gold is as intense as ever. Parker first appeared on the show in 2010 as a teenager, making only brief appearances at the start. But it didn't take long for him to stand out. His determination, sharp instincts, and intense work ethic quickly made him a fan favorite. He's known for his drive and sometimes his temper, but that same intensity is what has pushed him to the top. Beneath that tough exterior, there's a relentless focus that sets him apart. Parker Schnabel isn't just chasing gold, he's constantly pushing himself, risking everything to stay ahead in a game where nothing is guaranteed. Investing in the future. Parker Schnabel didn't build his success by chasing luxury. He built it by reinvesting everything back into the ground. Over the years, his gold depictions turned him into a multi-millionaire with an estimated net worth of around $10 million. But unlike many in his position, Parker has never been drawn to flashy spending. Instead of yachts or sports cars, He pours his money straight back into his operation. He once joked that his sandbox is where all his money goes, constantly upgrading equipment, improving efficiency, and pushing for bigger returns. For Parker, the real reward isn't the money, it's the hunt itself, the challenge of pulling gold out of unforgiving terrain. A family legacy. Mining has never been a one-man mission for Parker. His crew plays a critical role in every success, and while their earnings aren't public, strong seasons likely bring strong rewards. But beyond profit, Parker is carrying something much bigger, a legacy that started long before him. That legacy belongs to his grandfather, John Schnabel, a respected figure who ran the Big Nugget Mine in Alaska. Known for his wisdom and steady presence, John didn't just teach Parker how to mine, he taught him how to lead. When John passed away peacefully in 2016 at 96, Parker made it clear how much those lessons meant, grateful that fans had come to appreciate the man who shaped him, taking the reins. When John stepped back, Parker was still incredibly young, but he didn't hesitate. Taking over the family operation was a massive responsibility, yet he saw it as an opportunity, not a burden. With modern equipment, a strong team, and relentless determination, he didn't just maintain the mine, he expanded it, turning it into a thriving business. The big choice. That moment marked a turning point in his life. Parker had a choice: follow a traditional path like his peers and go to college, or take a risk and commit fully to mining. His grandfather had even set aside a college fund to give him that option. But Parker made a different decision. He took that money and invested it all into mining, buying equipment, building his operation, and betting everything on himself. It was a gamble that could have easily failed, but early signs proved he was on the right path. During Season 2 of Gold Rush, he and his crew pulled 34 ounces of gold worth around $55,000. It wasn't life-changing, but it was proof. From that point on, mining became more than just work. It became his identity: small nuggets, big returns. When people picture gold mining, they often imagine massive nuggets being pulled from the ground. But for Parker Schnabel, reality looks very different. During a 2017 Q&A, he revealed that the largest nugget he had ever found weighed only about a quarter ounce, worth roughly $1,400. It may sound underwhelming, but in the regions where Parker works, even nuggets that size are rare. Decades earlier, when his grandfather mined in Alaska, larger pieces were more common. Today, success isn't about striking one giant find, it's about consistency. Instead of chasing rare jackpots, Parker builds his fortune by extracting gold steadily, ounce by ounce, season after season. The strain of the trail. Not every part of his journey has been smooth. One of the most difficult periods came during Gold Rush. Parker's Trail, where Parker and his team retraced the historic Klondike Trail. The harsh conditions pushed everyone to their limits, and it showed. Among those on the trip was longtime cameraman James Lavelle, someone Parker had worked with for years. But under the pressure of the expedition, their relationship began to crack. Personality clashes turned into frequent arguments, and the tension never fully faded. Even after the cameras stopped rolling, things between them were never quite the same. A fiery reputation. Parker's intensity has always been part of who he is. In an industry as demanding as gold mining, patience runs thin and emotions run high. He's known for having a quick temper, and conflicts, whether with crew members or partners, have followed him throughout his career. But to Parker, that intensity comes with the territory. The stakes are too high, the risks too real for anything less than total focus. He understands that not every relationship will survive under that pressure, yet he continues to push forward, driven by the bigger picture, the cost of the dream. That drive, however, hasn't come without sacrifice. Over time, Parker has admitted that many friendships have faded. Mining consumes nearly all of his time and energy, leaving little space for anything else. Still, one influence has remained constant: his grandfather, John Schnabel. When asked about his most meaningful memories, Parker often points back to the time he spent learning from him. Those early lessons about work, discipline, and life continue to guide him long after John's passing. Parker and Ashley. His personal life has also felt the weight of his choices. One relationship that stood out to fans was with Australian veterinarian Ashley Yule. The two met in 2016 and quickly became close, with Ashley eventually joining him in Alaska during Season 8 of Gold Rush. She wasn't just there for support, she became part of the team, working alongside the crew and bringing a lighter energy to the demanding environment. For a time, she revealed a different side of Parker, one that viewers rarely saw. But by the following season, she was gone. Their relationship had ended, and Parker later admitted that he hadn't given it the attention it deserved. Mining had always come first. In a rare moment of honesty, he acknowledged that she deserved more than he was able to give. Rumors in the Outback. After his breakup with Ashley, Parker Schnabel became even more private about his personal life. He rarely spoke about relationships, which only made fans more curious. That curiosity grew even stronger during Season 4 of Gold Rush, Parker's Trail, when he traveled to Australia and teamed up with Tyler Mahoney. Both came from mining families, and their shared background made them a natural fit in the harsh Australian outback. Facing extreme heat, dangerous terrain, and long days of work, they quickly developed a strong on-screen dynamic. It didn't take long for viewers to notice, and rumors started to spread that there might be something more between them. But as the season unfolded, those rumors didn't hold up. Tyler later made it clear that their relationship was purely professional. What they shared was mutual respect and a common goal, not romance. For Parker, mining remained the priority, and for now, his personal life stayed firmly out of the spotlight. The wolf-cut gamble. That same focus led him to one of the biggest risks of his career: the wolf cut. This high-stakes mining site in Alaska wasn't just another project. It was a massive investment. Parker poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into the claim after early signs showed promise, including over 1,000 ounces of gold recovered from leftover material. But the real prize lay deeper. Beneath layers of untouched ground was a rumored deposit of more than 2,000 ounces of gold. If it paid off, it could mean over $3 million, making the wolf cut a defining moment for his entire operation. For weeks, Parker and his crew worked relentlessly, pushing through harsh conditions to reach the pay layer. Everything was building toward that one breakthrough. Disaster strikes. Then, just as they were getting close, everything changed. A sudden flood hit the site, turning the entire cut into a lake almost overnight. Months of work were suddenly at risk of being wiped out. For Parker, it was a brutal reminder of the reality of mining. No matter how much money or effort you put in, nature always has the final say. A fight against time. Refusing to give up, Parker and his crew launched into a desperate fight to save the operation. Pumps ran around the clock, draining millions of gallons of water. In just one day, they managed to remove around 10 million gallons. But it wasn't enough. Water kept pouring in from an unexpected source, a hidden mine shaft they had accidentally uncovered during digging. What should have been a breakthrough turned into a constant battle against flooding, a make-or-break moment. This wasn't just another setback. It was a turning point. If they couldn't control the flood, the entire season, and a huge investment, could be lost. The crew worked non-stop, digging through thick mud, building barriers, and trying to stabilize the site. Every hour mattered. Walking away wasn't an option, not after everything Parker had already put into it, standing his ground. When Parker finally returned to the site after a brief break, what he saw was far from what he had hoped for. Instead of clean pay dirt, he was met with a flooded, muddy disaster. But even then, he didn't back down. With just a few feet of ground left to reach the gold, he knew they were too close to quit. The flood had tested everything: his patience, his leadership, and his resolve. But for Parker Schnabel, moments like this aren't the end of the story. They're the point where everything is decided, the high stakes of Season 15. For Parker Schnabel, every season has come with pressure, but Season 15 of Gold Rush raises the stakes to a completely different level. With gold prices surging and an estimated $40 million in potential pay dirt waiting in the Yukon, this isn't just another run. It's a defining moment for his entire operation. At the center of it all is his Dominion Creek claim, believed to hold as much as $200 million worth of gold. But there's a catch. The license only has a few years left. Time is no longer on his side. Every season now matters more than ever, and the pressure to deliver is relentless. Parker has set his most ambitious goal yet, a record-breaking 10,000 ounces in a single season, valued at roughly $25 million. It's a target that could secure his future, but also one that comes with enormous risk. Heavy debt hangs over the operation, leaving almost no room for mistakes. One setback, one bad call, or one unexpected disaster could unravel everything he's built. For someone who has already mined over 63,000 ounces, worth close to $100 million, the idea of losing it all feels almost unthinkable. But in mining, past success doesn't guarantee anything. Every season starts from zero. Parker Schnabel has spent much of his life in front of cameras, but these days he's choosing to draw a clearer line between his public image and his private life. He now prefers to keep his personal life out of the public eye, believing that too much exposure in the past wasn't always a good thing. Over time, he's realized that the show only captures a small part of who he really is. While audiences may feel like they know him, what they see is just a snapshot of his work, not his full identity. When he was younger, that blurred line between work and self used to bother him. Growing up in a family where work was everything, it was easy to tie his identity entirely to mining and to the version of himself shown on TV. But with experience, he's learned to separate the two. Now Parker no longer worries about how people perceive him based on the show. The people who truly matter in his life understand who he is beyond the screen, and for him, that's enough.